Hey guys, it's Cassie, and welcome back to my channel, Miraculous Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about the upcoming episode, Simpleman. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video, a theory, or any miraculous buzz. Without further ado, let's talk miraculous. So Simpleman opens up with Marinette babysitting Manon, and it looks like Alia is going on a date with Nino, and she brings the twins over as well. The trio of kiddos definitely seems to be an unruly bunch and keeps trying to get into Marinette's sewing box, which we all know is where the miraculous box is. At some point, it seems like Marinette decides the best way to control her rowdy crowd is to play a Ladybug and Cat Noir movie. By this point, Chris has joined the group. While the movie is playing, Adrienne calls her. Of course, she freaks out because it's Adrienne. She gets it together, she answers the phone, and it seems that Adrienne has had a problem with a costume at a shoot, and of course, they have nobody on set to fix it because that makes sense. So he calls Marinette to fix it. Well, Marinette has the kids, she has to do something with them, so she decides to take them to her grandpa's house. Before we go on here, I just want to say that I don't think she's entirely trying to shirk off her responsibilities just to spend time with Adrienne. I think that if any friend had called and had some kind of a problem like he has, she would have gone and helped them. So it's not a matter of just, oh, it's Adrienne, she's just gonna shirk off all responsibility. It's more of, it's Marinette, and she can't say no, and she has to help everybody. So she drops all four of the kids off with her grandpa, starts playing the Ladybug and Cat Noir movie on her laptop that she leaves there, and goes to help Adrienne. Marinette fixes his costume, she gets the wing back on, she even does this superhero kind of pose with her hands on her hips, and says perfect, like she's really proud of what she did. And then Adrienne turns around and says, "I'm so glad I called you," and she looks completely shocked and taken aback at that point. But then he also asks her, what can he do to thank her? And she almost looks troubled by this, which seems weird. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a couple things going through her head. Maybe she's wanting to stay and see the rest of the shoot, but she feels guilty because she's left the kids with her grandpa and she knows she should get back. Or maybe she's bothered by the fact that Adrienne feels like he has to do something to repay her, and she doesn't want him to feel that way because she doesn't want anything from Adrienne, and she would never want him to think that she wants something from him. So I am curious to see what she says. I do think it's going to be something boring like, oh, I just want to stay and see your shoot. But she could so ask him to go get ice cream with her or to walk her home like she did in Mr. Pigeon 72. That would be amazing to see, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because the very next thing we see, at least in the trailer, is Adrienne taking off as, in his angel costume or whatever. And then we see the Akuma attack start with the purple band of light going everywhere. But I'm pretty sure Marinette gets a call from her grandpa before that happens, saying, the movie's done, he doesn't know what to do with the kids, they're running crazy, and he's overwhelmed. At that point, Shadow Moth being Shadow Moth takes advantage of this and akumatizes him into Simpleman and gives him the power to simplify things. And what is more simple than life when you were a kid? So that's when the attack actually happens, and we even see Shadow Moth get hit by the purple band of light, and he tries to block it so he doesn't get hit, but we see him get hit as well. I do think it's going to affect him as much as it affects all the other adults. But just like anybody, kids also want things they can't have, just like Shadow Moth. So I don't think this is going to deter Shadow Moth from wanting the miraculous from Ladybug and Cat Noir. And in fact, I think he'll be even more excited at the concept of getting them. The attack does seem to have some sort of effect on Ladybug and Cat Noir because they look like they don't know how to fight anymore. They are totally off balance. They can't do anything that they normally do. And they're kind of stumbling around and doing things crazy. And in fact, even the kids at this point are watching the fight. They're there, and they kind of facepalm like, oh, I can't believe this. Our heroes are acting like this. We do see Ladybug with her lucky charm, and it looks like a ball. And then we see Simpleman say, I'll give you candy if you give me your miraculous. And Ladybug and Cat Noir look so excited about this, which tells me at this point they must have regressed all the way to thinking like kids. But at the same time, we still see Manon, Chris, and the twins unaffected by what's going on. So which tells me the kids aren't affected by this because they already think simply, which is interesting because The kids were the reason that her grandpa got overwhelmed to begin with, yet they're not thinking any different than they were before. Funny because this is kind of just another way of showing that Shadow Moth is not in control, and the power that he gives people does not work the way it's intended to all the time. But that's definitely a good thing because it seems like the kids are going to help save the day. As Ladybug and Cat Noir start to take off their miraculous, the kids jump into action and say, "Stop, you can't give him your miraculous." We even see Manon holding on to Cat's arm, keeping it away from his other hand so she won't take off his ring, and the twins on each of Ladybug's arms so she can't get to her earrings. We don't see Chris, however, and that makes me wonder if maybe he's trying to fight Simpleman by himself to release Cat Noir and Ladybug from his spell. We've already seen that Ladybug had used her lucky charm, and it was a ball. Now, Simpleman has that big peel, which that's that paddle thing that, bakers use with pizza and loaves of bread and stuff. So what would be more simple than throwing the ball at the peel, assuming it's the peel that's been akumatized, and breaking the peel? Because it's not designed to hit a ball like a bat is, it's designed to lift bread, so it would probably break. So the Akuma would be released, and Ladybug and Cat Noir would be freed from the spell, and Ladybug could catch the Akuma, and that would be that. But I would love to see things go back to normal, and then the end of the episode be Adrien and Marinette getting ice cream, or Adrien walking Marinette home, or Adrien even showing up to her house to help her babysit the kids the rest of the time, or something with Adrien and Marinette. I want to see some sort of Adrienette development in this episode. If the trailer is any indication, then yes, we will get some Adrienette development in this episode. But Gloob and Miraculous have both clowned us before, so it's possible that the Adrienette development we get is what we see. But I really do think for the love square to work the way it needs to work by the end of the season, that we need to see more Adrienette interaction together. Because Adrien really does need to see more of that confident Marinette, the one who asked him to walk her home in Mr. Pigeon 72, the one who stood up to the mayor in Mega Leech. I think Adrien seeing more of this brave and strong Marinette is essential to the love square. And I still don't think we need to see a complete and total shift of Adrien's feelings for the love square to work. But I do think that we need to focus more on them and build up the love square on the Adrienette and more for everything to work out just right. And for that to happen, we're going to need the more Adrienette moments as the series wraps up. Because our Adrienette moments have been few and far between. Granted, when they've happened, they've been good. Like Mr. Pigeon 72 was good. Guilt Trip, I liked the interaction between Adrien and Marinette too. Optigami, I liked the interaction, though I wish there was more. I think we all did, but then again, it was an elevator, and I'm pretty sure they weren't in there as long as we think they were. And of course, there's Wishmaker. But we just need to see Adrien and together more. Not just standing on the screen together, like in Queen Banana, but actually talking and communicating, interacting, spending time with each other. That's what needs to happen for the love square to really make sense at the end of this season. And I think that's what really needs to happen for Marinette to confess to Adrien at the end of the season. I am almost positive that when we get to episode 22, things are going to significantly change, not just between Ladybug and Cat Noir, but between Marinette and Adrien, and things are going to really move quickly at that point, I think. So maybe Simpleman is really ramping up for that change to take place in the following episodes. So let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Do you think this is going to be a good episode? Do you think we're going to get Adrienette development here? What do you think Marinette's response is going to be to Adrien when he asks what he can do to thank her? And do you think there are significant Adrienette developments coming in the near future? Don't forget, Simpleman premieres Tuesday, September 28th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Gloob. That's it for me today, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.